And now to provide an insight on building a sustainable future at the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, would you please welcome the Assistant Administrator for the Office of Strategic Infrastructure, Calvin Williams.
Good afternoon. I'm happy to be here today to be part of this symposium, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about what NASA is and has been doing for about sustainability and in terms of infrastructure, supporting the missions of aero, science, and so what I'm going to be presenting to you today is mainly talking about what we're doing from the institutional side. If I get this clicker right, which one's clicker? Try it. So as I stated before, I'm in charge of all of the assets that support the missions, and we have a number of different assets, capabilities at NASA. Some of them are very unique and specialized in what they do, and what I'll be showing you initially are some of the unique capabilities that we have there. This first one is showing you a rocket test stand, which is at our Stennis Space Center, located near the Mississippi. And this is something that we use to test engines before they go into service. Moving on, we have the Vehicle Assembly Building, which is at the Kennedy Space Center. This facility is more than 500 feet tall and 518 feet wide, about 58 stories. This facility is used to put together the components of the various rockets and spaceships before they're launched, and then used to transport them out to the launch pad. This is another example of one of the unique facilities that we have. This is our Neutral Buoyancy Lab, which is located at the Johnson Space Center. This doesn't really show you the magnitude of this swimming pool. This swimming pool is about 200 feet long and 102 feet wide. It's 40 feet deep, and it maintains or has a capacity to hold 6.2 million gallons of water. The astronauts use this facility to train in weightlessness, and it's a very specialized facility that we have. Another one of the facilities that we have is our thermal vacuum chamber, which is located at our Glenn Research Center, which is in Cleveland, Ohio. This facility, again, is one of a kind. It's 100 feet in diameter and about 122 feet high. And this is where we use to test out various components in extreme conditions that they will see in outer space. The next two pictures here we have are showing what we have out at our Ames Research Center, which is located in California. The top left picture shows you our wind tunnel, where we are able to test various actual size airplanes, and in this case, we're testing the parachutes that were used for the Mars landing. The second picture at the bottom is at our Glenn Research Center. It's another wind tunnel that we are able to test various airplane configurations, where we're looking at trying to reduce the level of sonic boom that is generated by supersonic flight. Here is a picture of our Ames Research Center supercomputer, which is located near San Francisco. Again, we have high-end computers here that are able to run numerous complex calculations. And at the bottom picture shows you a picture of some of our wide screens that we have there that allow us to perform various scientific studies on climate change and weather predictions and things of that nature. This last picture is of the James Webb Telescope, which is being assembled together here. These are 18 gold-plated mirrors that are being connected together. That the diameter is about 21 feet wide. And so, again, our facilities allow us to do this very highly specialized and unique fabrication and testing. So what are some of the issues that we're facing? Over 2/3 of our facilities, we have 10 major centers located across the country. About 2/3 of them are located within 16 feet of sea level. A number of them are located close to the coastal regions. The top picture shows you the Wallop Island facility where we launch rockets from that facility. The right top picture shows you the locations of our Stennis location and our Michoud assembly plant. These are all right there in the middle of the Gulf Coast there. The Johnson Space Center, the bottom left picture, we had some flooding that was done there, and also on the Kennedy Space Center. Again, this shows you the sand, the beaches that we have are eroding. And so we are very impacted by the changes in climate and the weather conditions, and these are some of the things that we have to continue to address as part of our overall institutional program. Most of our facilities are older than 40 years old. I would say 80% of them. Looking at this graph in reverse, 20% of our facilities are 40 years old. And so therefore, we have to try to maintain these facilities, and it is a challenge for us to maintain these aging facilities. One of the biggest challenges that we have is that although we have been reducing our energy consumption over the years, that cost per unit has gone up. And so therefore, we have to continue to strive to reduce the energy that we're using in our processes. And so therefore, this is something that we have continuously addressed. And some of the things that we're doing is sustainability in our sustainability program. We have been using sustainability principles since 2003 time frame. We have a very rigorous master planning process where we're looking at ensuring that we have the right capabilities and the right infrastructure there to support the mission. We're looking at balancing our capacity of institutional assets by demolition and building new and more sustainable facilities. As I mentioned, we set LEED standard of silver back in 2006, where we started designing and building facilities that met at least a LEED standard of silver. And over the years, we've been able to build 47 sustainable buildings. 5 of them are platinum, 19 are gold, and 19 are silver, and 4 are certified. So we have been doing this for a while, and we still are striving to ensure that the facilities that we do build meet the mission requirements, but also have a positive impact on the environment. We're striving more towards zero energy and water facilities to meet some of the initiatives of the executive order. And with that, I'll give you a slight overview of some of the new buildings that we have. We have a new building at our Marshall Space Flight Center. Again, this is LEED Silver building. It's won several awards. This is just another picture of that facility. Some of the things that we're incorporating are the photovoltaic arrays. Our buildings we've seen have reduced consumptions in the ranges of 20 to 30% in energy and in water. This is another facility that we've built recently at our Langley Research Center, which is in Virginia. Here, this building, I'd like to take note, was dedicated to Kathleen Johnson. She was one of the women who performed the mathematical equations and calculations by hand for engineers back in the early 60s. She verified the calculations made by the first computers for John Glenn's orbit around the Earth. So this facility we recently completed, and we're seeing, again, reductions in power. We're consolidating 5 data centers within this facility. This is another one of our lead facilities, a platinum facility that we have at our Kennedy Space Center. This is our first carbon neutral facility, producing more energy than it actually consumes. So with this picture here, it takes me back to, we have these old facilities and aging facilities, and then we have these new sustainable facilities. So the challenge that we have is, how do you maintain both types? That's something that we are experiencing and trying to make sure that we maintain the institutional knowledge that can operate the existing systems, but at the same time, we need to go out and make sure that we are hiring folks that can come in and operate these new facilities. This gives you an example at the same center. This is at the Armstrong Flight Research Center. This is the main administrative building that was built back in the 60s, and some of you may recognize this as the building from I Dream of Genie. Okay. At the same location, we have this new lead construction, platinum facility, and so again, we have to balance. How do we ensure that we're able to maintain both of these kinds of facilities? Another one of our challenges is reducing the footprint. Like many agencies, we do have a number of facilities that are aging, and we continue to hold on to them. It reminds me of my garage. I continue to put stuff in there and don't go in and clean it up from time to time, because you never know when you might need something. And so you tend to hold on it. And our centers they do the same thing. We have some very specialized and unique assets that are mandatory for us to do our mission. And so we try to hold on to those items. But we're looking at now across the agency at trying to identify what it is that we really need in terms of these capabilities, and trying to get rid of things that we don't need, and also to consolidate as much as possible. This is one of the historic hangars out at Ames Research Center near San Francisco. Was built for the dirigible what do you call them? The dirigible, what's the word I'm looking for? Airship. And this was built back then. It's a huge facility. We recently was able to, working with GSA, go out and find a user for this facility. And that user is now coming in and is going to completely rehab the outer surface of that structure so that it can be used for more current practices. And again, the bottom picture shows a picture of another hangar that we have at the Glenn Research Center. This is an older facility, but it's still being used. And so these are just some of the examples of where we have some aging facilities, but we still use some of them. So we have to find a way to make sure that we can continue to operate them until we're able to build something to replace them. This last slide sort of summarizes the predicament that we're in. As I've shown a number of aging facilities that we have across the agency, but at the same time, we've been making great strides in building more sustainable buildings for the agencies to use. And so we have to continue to operate the old, but operate the new at the same time. So therefore, we're integrating this together. And this is a picture of the International Space Station, which is about 20 years old. And we recently added on a expandable module that can be used. And so we're updating this asset just as we are updating the assets that we have here back on Earth. So I just wanted to go and present these couple of ideas to you in terms of some of the challenges that we are facing. I think that, again, NASA has made some significant strides in our sustainability program, but we have to maintain the aging facilities, and so therefore I believe a number of agencies within the federal government are under the same predicament. So, but we are, again, making strides in trying to ensure that we have the assets that are needed to continue with the NASA program. And with that, if you have any questions, I can take those.